morning, everyone. Coming up today, our special guest will be sharing marketing ideas to get your next 10 clients. Welcome along to Fitness Business Podcast Rewind, that segment where we take a little trip down memory lane and I get to chat to some of our all-time favorite guests from the first 6 years of the show. Today, I'm really excited to welcome the owner of Results Fitness and Results Fitness University, Rachel Cosgrove. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It is so good to catch up. I was talking about taking a trip down memory lane. I was having a look at when we first caught up together, and it was back in 2018. It was that long ago, and you did a show which it was show 188, and we talked about 3 ways to make more money in your fitness business. Do you remember that?
I do, and it's crazy that it was that long ago.
2018, right? I know.
This last couple of years has been kind of, all merged together. So
how things have changed. Yeah. It was when I catch up with guests like we're doing now, I like to go back and have a look and have another listen of the show. Anyway, I was having a look at the stats of that show. It's had over 3,500 downloads.
Oh, wow.
Episode that we did. And I actually remember straight afterwards, the feedback from everyone was incredible. So if anyone missed that show, I'll make sure I put a link in our chat thread for today. So look, I thought before we do kick into our marketing ideas, which I'm really excited about, just in case there's anyone that hasn't heard your bio before, hasn't caught up with you before, tell us quickly about Results Fitness and Results Fitness University.
Sure. So Results Fitness is a gym my husband and I opened just going on 22 years ago. So it's kind of crazy how long we've had our gym. It's our baby. We've, started it from scratch as personal trainers, passionate about changing lives and helping people to understand that fitness is something that everybody can do. And really it's a place where, we wanted to create something different than what was in the industry. And so set out to do that. And our mission, which is to change the way fitness is done. And so as we did that over the 22 years, we've built a pretty special place. I'm pretty proud of, Results Fitness and what it is. And so we have, over that time, we started to have fitness professionals reach out, personal trainers, and, would email us and say, can we come out and see what you do? Can we come learn from you? Can we see how you run your business? Can we learn programming? And so they wanted to learn all the different systems we had put into place over the years. And so we started what we call our mentorship, which is a 3-day event where people would come out, spend 3 days with us. And then we'd show them everything we do. So here's how we run our business. Here's all the systems we use, and really helping them to set up all the same things in their business. And so over time, that grew into our coaching program, which is our Mastermind coaching program, where we have gym owners who work with us a year at a time. They sign up, and we coach them weekly, and we're on the phone with them on Zooms. And so obviously over these last year and a half, things have looked a little different than they used to. We used to meet in person for in-person masterminds, and we actually just are getting back to that. So thankfully, but we were meeting on Zoom, quite regularly, and really all of us navigated this pandemic together. So, so that's Results University. It's our business coaching and consulting, and it's it's been definitely for us, over this last 18 months, we were one of the longest shut down gyms. So we work with people all over the country and all over the world. And so Results Fitness, it was kind of crazy because all of the gym owners we work with, we were still shut, and everybody was like, we're open. And like, okay, good job. All right. We were all navigating it like, okay, we'll do this and try this. And, so obviously kind of leading that Results University group of gym owners through this, it was my first pandemic. So,
well, yeah, right.
So,
it was unknown for everyone.
Yeah, we really leaned on each other and really, worked together to figure it out. And so now we have a lot of our gym owners who are open and back to thriving and back to pre-pandemic numbers. And so it's, it's really exciting. It's, I think after all of this, we're more fired up than ever to help fitness business owners to set their business. I mean, so many gyms have gone out of business, and it's really sad because it's what people need right now. So definitely fired up to help as many people as I can to set their business up so that they could survive, God forbid, if we had to go through all of this ever again, or whatever the future holds, right? So
let's hope that we don't have to. But I mean, it really, that's exactly same with the Fitness Business Podcast. I mean, that is what this is all about, and it's the reason that we wanted to get you back on, because you do have that experience working with gym owners and managers and personal trainers out there. And we're super grateful for you coming back on to share some of that experience with us today. And as you said, I mean, everyone around the world is in different situations right now. We're in different stages of opening. And I feel like I've been saying that probably for 2 years now, but that's the truth. You know, everyone's just a little bit different, but we are going to explore some marketing ideas today. And I like to think that for the FBP family out there that are open and they're starting to operate, then these will be really relevant. And for anyone that is still in lockdown or perhaps not operating as they normally would, I'm sure that they'll be able to take these ideas and run with them, hopefully when things get back up and running very soon. We hope everything returns to normal. So let's have a chat about some marketing ideas, because when we caught up earlier, you were like, oh, I've got these great marketing ideas to get some more clients on board. So do you want to get us started? Where do we start?
Yeah, well, and, I'll tell you, I think, over the pandemic, I was like, well, what am I going to, because everyone, how are you going to spend your time, right? During the pandemic. Yep. And so I really immersed myself in a lot of marketing, different marketing ideas, because I knew when this was all over, I needed to be ready, right? With marketing, to be ready to get new clients. And so for any of you, that if you are still, not quite where you need to be, or you're rebuilding your business, or, maybe and even if you work in someone else's gym, it doesn't mean you have to own your own business, but, think of yourself as you got to get clients, right? So marketing is the answer to helping more people. I think, all of us as passionate fitness business owners, we think exercise and nutrition is the way to helping more people, but if we can't market and reach those people, then we can't teach them exercise and nutrition. Yep. Yeah. So marketing is definitely one of those things that, you want to embrace and you want to learn. And even if, it's boring to you, or you're not excited by it, or, you hope you can delegate it to someone, I strongly encourage you to really own your marketing, because it needs to be your voice. Only you know what your business stands for. And that's what's going to differentiate you and really make your marketing powerful. So make sure you're involved. Even if you are going to delegate it, you have to be involved at some level in your marketing. So with that said, that thinking through, talking about marketing, I think the number one thing we all need to think about is, who are we talking to? So before we think about how we're going to market or what we're going to market, or, who is the person that we're talking to? And so really getting super crystal clear on that target market that you are, that person. And, it's like, I think when people are putting out social media posts, or they're writing emails, and you hear people go, oh, I don't know what to write about, or I don't know what content to put out. Well, stop for a second and think about the person that needs your help, because that's all marketing is it's talking to that person that needs your help. And so who is that person? Is it, is it a woman, or is it a male? Is it a kid? Is it, a teenager? Is it who is it? Are they, what are they struggling with? What are their number one struggles? What are you going to speak to? If you were going to have a conversation with them, what would that conversation be like? And the more you can get really clear on who that person is, and with all of the online options now, I mean, we can reach so many people, right? So if we get clear on who that person is, then it's easy to back up from there and figure out, okay, now let's figure out a strategy to try to talk to them, right? So do you want me to just keep going?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think what you've said is perfect. So first of all, identify who that target market is, really important. And perhaps, I mean, a lot of businesses are very set on that target market, but perhaps with circumstances having changed, people might be, reevaluating or tweaking who it is that they're marketing to.
Exactly. I think it's a really good time for to kind of reevaluate who is that person that because people have changed. I mean, I know in our area, I was, a lot of people it's hard to get them to get out of their homes right now. So It's a different client than it was pre-pandemic, right? So that wasn't really a struggle before, that.
And potentially their needs may have changed.
Right.
The needs of your target market may have changed
for sure.
Slightly. Yeah.
Yeah. And, their motivations may have changed. They're now more motivated to exercise for health, maybe not so much, maybe the way they look isn't as important as making sure they're healthy, or making sure they're going to be able to, survive if they ended up getting sick, or, so these are some things that we want to start to run through and start to write down. So once you know who your target market is, what are some of their struggles that their main struggles that you're going to become the solution to? And that's really what marketing is. It's about, communicating that you're the solution to their problem. You're the answer to whatever they're struggling with. And so the more clear you can get on their struggles, what are they struggling with? What's their, if we can enter the conversation that's happening in their head, That's when, when they're on their Facebook and they scroll through and they see your ad and you're entering the conversation, like they were just talking about how they're frustrated and they want to, get back in the gym, but they're feeling intimidated. And then they see your ad and it says, are you feeling intimidated and frustrated and ready to get back to the gym, but don't know where to start? Oh my gosh, how'd you know? Right. So the more clear you can get, then you can talk right to them. And then they see your ad and they know, oh my gosh, this is just for me. Right. So that's your first step, is figure out who you're talking to and figure out what their struggles are. And then as we start to think about, how do we reach these people? So we have what we call a wheel of marketing. And so everybody always thinks like Facebook ads, that's what we do, right? How do we learn how to do social media or Facebook, which absolutely you can't run a business now without being present on social media. I think that's absolutely going to be a huge part of your strategy when it comes to marketing, but it's not the only strategy. So I think, you definitely want to think about a whole wheel of marketing. And on that wheel is social media. But also on that wheel, we have referrals, and referral marketing is something that is one of the best forms of marketing. And we get some of the highest quality clients. So what are you doing to get referrals? So one of the things we use is we use a VIP card where, if a client mentions somebody and usually right away, like one thing you guys want to think about is in the very beginning, when someone first joins with you, that's when they're going to be most likely to talk about you to their friends and family. So that's a good time to ask for the referral, don't wait. So, and at that point, we'll usually offer them like, hey, you mentioned your sister. We'd love to offer you a VIP pass to bring your sister in. Here you go. This is only for, active members of ours. And we know that if you getting started here, you're going to have more success if you have someone join with you. So we'd love to have her join you, so that's a good way to get referrals. So just having some kind of a system in place for your referrals is going to be, one of the first steps, or even, thinking about how do you could you send another thing we've used is sending your clients to creating a website that your clients can send people to. So you want to make it easy for clients to refer people to you, right? So it's not always easy for them to tell a friend like, hey, you should come to my gym. But if you have, something that they can send their friends to, or something, that's easy, that's going to work best. Yeah. So
let me ask you about that VIP pass or card. Do you find that it works better to give someone a VIP card or a visit card for a single visit, or do you like to have multiple visits to get them in the habit of coming? So if I'm a member and I want to give a VIP card to my sister, do you normally do that as a one-off visit, or is it more effective to have like a 3-visit pass, for example? What do you think?
I think it's definitely beneficial to do more than one visit, because one visit, they're going to come, they might get sore, and they don't really know whether or not they can keep doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So you definitely want them to immerse themselves in pass. We actually do a 30-day pass, but what we do is on the front end, when they come in with the pass, we give them an incentive to go ahead and get signed up right then. So a lot of them will convert on the, right away. So once they're in the door, it can be easy to go ahead and convert them to become a member, but they still have that 30-day period that if they do decide, it's risk-free. So if they decide, this isn't for me, then they can go ahead and, say, never mind, I don't want to do this. But that, that gets them already signed up as a member. They're already in, and then they're kind of thinking it's just a different mentality because they're committed. Mm-hmm. So I think you definitely want to give them more than one session or one visit to experience what you do and what you have. And, for a lot of the people that want to do a trial like that, they need to see if it works in their life. They're trying to figure out, can I get here on time? Is this going to can I make this a priority? Is this going to be something that's going to work for me? And so if they don't have a chance to really figure that out, then you might not end up getting them as a client. So
I think it's important to remember that, because quite often I see gyms that do a VIP program or referral program, but often it's just a single visit. And I agree. I think you need that you need to become a little bit of routine and get over that first day, which can be a little bit of a shock. And invite those people in for a couple of visits to get them kind of used to coming in, getting used to the gym. So we've got the VIP card, and then potentially creating like a customized website or even a landing page, I guess, for someone to be able to refer on to a friend.
Sure. Yeah. So referrals are going to be one of our one source of marketing that if you don't have a strategy in place, we want to start to think about how we're going to do that. So marketing, so then we start to look at the wheel and look at the other things. I do think it's important to think like smaller in your community, if you're a brick and mortar, especially, get connected with your community, get connected with, we call it gifting. So get in front of them, GIFT. So what are some of the opportunities that you can get in front of your target audience? So once you know who they are, where are they? And then can you get in front of those people, right? So making sure you set yourself up to connect with the people in your community, show up at, the events, maybe support one of your local charities. I think that's really important. So those things are going to, start you off with your marketing wheel. And then we start getting into, okay, let's talk about online, because I know that's where everybody's going and what we really want. And for the online presence, so number one, before we even talk about capturing our online audience, I would recommend we have to get an email database set up. So marketing now is multi-step. So it's not just put an ad up and someone signs up for your gym. It just doesn't happen that way anymore. People are getting bombarded with so many different messages and so many, so much that they may see your ad and it's going to be like, I know we've all done it where you've scrolled on your social media. Maybe you saw something that you were like, oh, that was cool. And then you go back to try to find it and you realize it was a paid ad and you're like, where'd it go? Yeah. And like, you can't find it. And so then you can't sign up. Right. So then it's like, and people do that. Right. So if you don't like stay in front of them and keep marketing to them, that's like, you're not going to get them to commit. And so one of the ways to do that is having what we call a lead magnet. So, definitely having something where they can opt in to get something for free to start to get to know you, so that it's an easy first step, so that if they do see something you posted or your ad or someone shared something you posted, and they can easily end up giving you their name and email address. Like if we can just get their name and email address, you have a little more control over being able to talk to them more often. And so that's really just the first step that, you want to get into place before you start spending a whole lot of time, money, and energy on that online marketing. Because if you don't have your email database in place, you're going to miss out on the continued conversation that you need to have with the people that you're going to get in front of. Yeah. So I would definitely say, email is going to be one of our next steps on the wheel of making sure we have a consistent, I think at least weekly, you're communicating with them, sending out good content, stuff that's going to help them. You're talking to your target market, really give them, stuff that they feel like they want to open that email to read because it's going to help them. Right. So, and the more you do that consistently, they get used to getting those emails. And then when you're ready to sell something, they are going to open the email and they're, it's what we call know, like, and trust, right? So you want to get them to know, like, and trust you. And so I think email is one of the easiest ways to do that. And it's by far, because we don't have control over social media. I mean, we've all seen the changes of, Facebook and everything. You don't know if it's going to be down tomorrow, right? You don't know. So if you don't start pulling people off of it into your own database, you don't have any control over it. So
absolutely. Let me ask you this question, Rachel. How much, if we have a look at the content that we provide to our database and the what's included in that content, in your opinion, how much free content, education, information should we provide to our customers and potential customers versus how often should we put a call to action or a sales message in there? So what's your opinion on that, sort of providing that quality content versus a sales message?
Yeah, great question. So our formula is 2 content emails. So in a month, you would have a content, some good content, and then we'd usually do a story or testimonial. So some kind of story or testimonial. And then one time a month, we do a call to action. So if you kind of stick to that formula where you have content, a story or testimonial, and then a call to action, and then again, content, story. So that every single time they open your email, they're not like, oh my God, she's selling me something again.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's really important to remember that, how important that is for our customers.
For sure. And keep an eye on your open rates. Like if your content's not getting opened, like you want to work on kind of playing with your subject line, so, and remember when you're writing your emails, really put yourself in the the head of your target market and really think about like, what would my conversation with this person be, and what subject line would they be interested in opening? You know, we're not our target market. Like, that's hard to understand, but we don't know. We have to really do the work to start to understand them, because, you know, we're gym people, which, you know, gym people are not normal. So that's not who our market is. We want to try to reach a person who's not a gym person.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
so we've got, yep.
Yeah. So that's the main thing, is just making sure you are, like you said, I think it's a great question, because you do want to make sure you're, you know, giving them some good stuff, but you're also taking the time to ask for that call to action, because that's the whole point.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Okay. So just to recap quickly, so we've got our importance of identifying our target market. We talked about referrals. We talked about gifting, getting in front of them. Now moving to that online sort of sharing content, that type of thing. Is there anything else that you would recommend that we need to have in that kind of kit to start marketing or remarketing to our database and our customers?
So think through all of your points of contact. So, you know, definitely having your email database set up, but also what does your website look like? What is your social media? So then set up your, you know, you got to have your social media pages, your main pages, business pages set up. You know, going through all of your points of contact, and are they all consistent? You know, I've seen business owners make the mistake of, you know, maybe I've had people run our drop 2 sizes program, and it's like pink and it's very feminine and, you know, very targeted towards women. And then you go to their website and it's flames and chains and like, you know, it's called like, you know, hardcore, you know, like, and it's like, so if the person that gets this ad, you know, is like, oh, drop 2 sizes, cool, that's what I want to do, click, and they go to your website and they're like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to that gym, forget it, right? So make sure you take the time to think through the path that they're going to go on, and is it all congruent with what you're trying to say, right? So your message has to be like, because you'll just lose them. Like, you'll do all this work up here and then they'll land on your website and gone, right? So now you just did all this work and doesn't matter because you stopped talking to that person. So just take the time to go through everything, you know, before you spend any money on any ads or you do anything. I would, you know, definitely take the time to think through everything.
Yeah, I think that is so important. Absolutely. And I just while you were talking, I just took a sneaky look at Facebook to see who was watching. And I just want to say hi to Marissa Hoff, because she was there saying hi to us as we started the broadcast today. So, hey, Marissa, thank you for watching. And guys, by the way, if anyone has questions as we go, please feel free to just pop them in the chat box below, and I'll take another quick sneak peek as Rachel's.
Yeah, I just opened the chat. So if you guys have questions in the chat, questions are good, because then we know what you guys want to know.
Exactly. Okay, so anything else that we need to be considering at the moment?
Okay, so then, so once we have everything in place, we start to look at, you know, and our online presence. I think right now a lot of people are Googling, so don't like, that's a huge thing right now. And people are Googling the word personal trainer. You know, they're looking for like that one-on-one, they're looking for customized programs, they're looking. So make sure you start using, you know, some of the words in your blogs and on your website, just that people would be searching for. So you kind of want to think about that. Like personal training is one of the ones that I would definitely make sure you're including in, you know, so if you have that word on your website, it'll be more likely to get pulled up if they search for that word, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think that's also a really important time when we do need to be very specific about the market that we're serving, right? Because really having that point of difference in some of those keywords is going to make your ad or your sort of presence pop up among other than someone else's. You know, if you start to really narrow down that target market that you talked about right at the very beginning today.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then reviews. So, you know, making sure you have, what do your reviews look like, you know, on Google, on Yelp, on Facebook, and don't be afraid to start asking your clients for reviews. So if a client, you know, like if we have actually an email set up, so if a client starts pouring out their heart and soul to us about how wonderful we are and oh my gosh, you know, then we say, you know, hey, would you mind, you know, if you really feel that way, I would love it if you could share that in a review. I'm going to shoot you an email. And so the email is already like a templated, you know, here's an idea of how to say your review. Here's the links, right, to click to give us a review. You know, we really appreciate it. And so that way we just send them that email that's already ready to go. and that makes it really easy to get more reviews. So that's something that you want to have, a system in place to get those reviews, because if you don't nudge your clients to do it, they don't think about it, or they're not, like, I know, I forget, like, it's like I go to a business and, really love it, but do I go log on and give them a review? I don't, you don't think about it unless they ask. So don't be afraid to ask and start getting the good reviews. If you do have any negative reviews, the more good reviews you can get, it'll push those down, so that helps your Google ranking. So that'll help, you show up when people are searching for gyms in your area, it'll help your online presence. So people come across this and people read the reviews, they do.
Absolutely. And I think you need to, once again, put yourself in the shoes of a potential customer. And if you're going to a new business, I know I will always jump on and have a look at the reviews. First of all, and I love that idea of having the email template just ready to go. Because I think sometimes when we are running a small business and we are trying to do all the things, reviews are one of those things that perhaps maybe fall down the list, or we don't get around to actually making that immediate response when that customer is, when that customer is hot and excited about the experience that they've had. I love your recommendation to just jump on, grab a template, send it off.
Yeah.
Have all the links ready to go. It makes it that much easier for you and that much easier for your customer as well.
Yeah. Great. Well, and with that said, when someone is giving you that raving review, if you got your camera with you, you should also be ready to go too, to capture, like, hey, would you mind, hey, if you feel, I'd love to have you go ahead and capture that on video. So if you're like, it's a good idea to be ready, get a good, like, quick microphone that's just hanging. Like, we have a good microphone that we like that is at the front desk. So it's like, if a client starts to, pour their heart and soul out to us, we get the hang on real quick, so we grab a few. So the more testimonials you have, the better you can, those are great for your marketing. Those are going to be some of the most powerful things you can do, is get testimonials from your clients.
I agree.
And not like, I don't think of them, you don't want to think of them as testimonials. You want to think of them as stories. So the difference is, a testimonial is the client says, Results Fitness is amazing and Rachel is such a great coach, which is fine and like fills my ego and okay, great. But I actually want to hear their story, because the person who's going to be watching this video, I want them to hear. So making sure if you spend some time interviewing the client, and then you can edit the video, but, hey, where were you before you joined the gym? How are you feeling? What, so then they can say some of the words that, I was frustrated. I was, low on energy. I was, feeling like, intimidated to come to the gym, or whatever it might be. So then they say those words, and then you can, use those, right? And we call it mess to success. So their mess is where they were before they join your gym. So, all of those feelings that the potential client's feeling. And then 2 is capturing what is it about your gym that they love. So what's, you're the answer basically. And then success is, where are you now? So, I feel amazing. I have so much energy. I, can't imagine my life without this place. So that's, we kind of want to capture those 3 things. So just think of that, mess to success. So that you can capture the real story, rather than just, like, oh, you guys are amazing,
And that real story is what it's all about. And it's also that's the thing that your prospects are going to relate to, isn't it? That's the thing that is going to get them across the line. And as you were talking, Marissa was just saying she loves that idea of systemizing the review process. I think it's terrific. And I think that it's an action that the FBP family can take away from today, is if you don't already have an email set up with that template, if you don't have a camera or a mic ready to go, then what a great idea, what an easy idea, either an online version or an in-person version, to just start to capture that, because having those customer testimonials is gold for your business. So
it really is. And you can use a phone, like it's, you don't need to get a fancy camera.
Right.
I think the most important thing is the audio, getting a good microphone, because, if they can't hear them, and if it's, loud in your gym, and so get a good microphone for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So we're going to start to wrap things up, and I know we've covered a lot already. I've been writing notes as we've been going. Are there any last tips that you would give the FBP family today, Rachel, in relation to
I would just say, so from there, then once you have all those things in place, now it's about, I think of it as like a rock show. So you're the person on stage, your business is the rock star, and you got people that you want to try to fill into all these seats. And now you have people that are outside of the stadium that have no idea you even exist. So we got to try to talk to them, and that's probably going to be through Facebook ads or some way to get in front of people that even didn't even know you were there and didn't even know about you, right? And then start to move them from, there into the nosebleed seats, so they give you an email address. That's like moving them into the nosebleed seats. And then, okay, next we can bring them in for a trial, or, maybe they sign up we have like an $89 trial, or if they're on VIP, if they know somebody, they can get in, for that. And then we just keep moving them forward till pretty soon, they're in the mosh pit and they're like the biggest, they're at every, every show you do. And, we all know those clients, right? They buy anything you put out. Like, we have, thankfully, right? We wouldn't be here through this pandemic if we didn't have those clients that were like, what do you got? I'll buy it,
Yeah.
And that's what you want to create. We call them, there's a book called Raving Fans. Yeah. So that's the idea is, if you can start to, just start to think about ideas to bring those people into your, to where you can send them an email, you can keep, starting that conversation, and eventually they will become, your raving fans, so that you can keep growing your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back to what you talked about earlier, I think it's so important for us to remember to have those multiple touch points, have the ongoing communication with those people, especially during these times when people have been isolated sometimes, or they haven't been into your gym as much or at all in some cases. I think all of those methods of communication and having multiple touch points is really, really important at the moment. So Rachel, that was awesome. I mean, for me, you reminded me of Gift, the get in front of people. And I think we talked about that back in 2018. And I love just remembering that as much as possible. How can we get in front of our audience? And again, just talking about that email, systemizing the review process and systemizing, capturing people's stories and their experience, I think is a really big, important takeaway for us today. So I just want to say thank you. It's been such a pleasure catching up. I'm glad that we got the chance to do this. And I know it's been a tough environment over there for you guys, and I really wish you all the best in getting the business back up and running, getting reopening there in California. So yeah, it was just a pleasure to catch up with you, Rachel.
Thank you. And I did want to let everybody know we do have, we're more fired up than ever right now to help fitness business owners. So we are doing a free masterclass. We have the 5 mistakes that most gym owners are making and what you can do instead is happening next week. So this timing of this is actually perfect. So if you guys want to join our free masterclass, if you jump on any of my social media on Instagram, I'm rachelcosgrove.co, and the link's in the profile there, or you can head to resultsfitnessuniversity.com/join. So awesome. Head there and jump into our masterclass. I'd love to see you guys there, and we can keep chatting more about, marketing and all that fun stuff. So, and thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, no, our absolute pleasure. So just to wrap everything up today, guys, what I'll do is all the links, the stuff that we talked about today, I'm going to pop them in the chat. So make it nice and easy for you guys to access those links from today, including Rachel's first show with us, which I really highly recommend you go back and take a listen to that show back in 2018. It was a while ago, but I promise you're going to get a lot out of that interview. Guys, if you want a recording of today's show, just write replay in the notes below, and I'll make sure that I send you through a recording. Make sure that if there was something that you heard today and you think a friend or a colleague would love to hear that information, make sure that you pop their details in the comments. We will shoot them off a copy, or otherwise just forward them a copy of the recording. That would be great too. Guys, please make sure you join me next month when I'm going to be chatting to the one and only Mr. Alan Leach. I'm really excited about that one too. We've been so lucky to have Rachel and Alan and our great guests on the show. So once again, FBP family, thank you for joining us today. Rachel, thank you to you. Very best. I hope to see you in the US next year. I hope Australia, we get to start traveling again soon. So yes. Thanks once again for joining me.
Thank you.